First, I'd like to state that our last special meeting that was called for the purpose of an investigation, the Robert's Rules of Order, which is how we conduct our business per City Code, Article 121, was violated consistently through that meeting by both our mayor and our city attorney. Neither the mayor nor the city attorney can shut down a council member from asking questions or making comments to a main topic of a meeting or an agenda item. Our city attorney attributed 10 different statements to me that I supposedly made in an interview, which was the basis for the investigation that was put before council. A total of 4 of those statements were completely fabricated. They were never made. One of which I made, but Mr. Stranko refuted the validity of that statement, in which I have documented proof that he is incorrect. And a 6th statement is mischaracterized. The other 4 statements that I actually made are not germane to the investigation that is required in the actual allegations that have been made of wrongdoing in regards to Officer Dalton, the mayor, our city attorney, and this city council. So let me ask all of you, how could I, or anyone, make a motion to vote for an investigation in which the statements at the center of the investigation were never made or have been mischaracterized? And most importantly, the actual accusations, as well as statements of fact that require investigation, were excluded. I've received many questions since our special meeting, and every single person, including myself initially, were confused about exactly what we were supposed to be investigating. Principally because none of the actual accusations, some of which are very serious, that have been levied against the mayor and Officer Dalton were on Mr. Stranko's list. I can only speak for myself. When I saw my supposed statements and knew that many I simply did not make and others had been mischaracterized, I did not know what to think. And please, I'm not asking for anyone to take my word for this. Read his memo and go to WAJR and listen to the interview. I'm going to.
Anybody else got anything?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to finish, and by the Robert's Rules of Orders, I'm allowed to finish. This is germane to the city interest, and you can't give me a time limit.
Cut it short to the point,
You can't cut me off.
I can't cut you off.
Well,
I
you
run the
can't.
meeting.
No.
Robert don't run the meeting.
No,
I run the
well,
meeting.
you have
Now,
to
get to your point
okay.
and let's do it.
Well, city attorney, you need to let the mayor know that we prescribe to the Robert's Rules of Order. This isn't his kingdom. He can't cut me off and do whatever he wants. We have rules here, and one of them is the Robert's Rules of Order.
Let's go. Let's go.
Okay? I'm going to briefly outline Mr. Stranko's memo. Then I will make council aware of the accusations that need to be independently investigated. Number 1, he stated that I said, everything runs through the mayor. I made that statement. It is not germane to the investigation. And I'd be happy to explain to anyone exactly what I meant by that. And before I finish here, you should get an idea of why I made that statement. Number 2, the city attorney will not speak to me. That is also not germane to the investigation that needs to be conducted. I made that statement, but Mr. Stranko justified it by quoting Charter Section 3.04D, which states, except for the purpose of inquiries and investigations, the council and its members shall deal with city officers and employees who are subject to the direction and supervision of the mayor solely through the mayor, and neither council nor its members shall give orders to any such officer or employee. What Mr. Stranko conveniently left out was the last part of Section 3.04D, that council shall act in all matters as a body, and it is contrary to the spirit of this section for any of its members to seek individually to influence the official acts of the mayor or any other officer or employee, or for the council or its members to direct or request the appointment of any person to, or his or her removal from office, or to interfere in any way with the performance of officers or employees of their duties, except the city clerk. So what this says is that city council members cannot individually influence the mayor as to who he should hire or fire. It also states that city council members cannot individually give a city officer or employee an order. And I completely, wholeheartedly agree with that. But what it does not say is that individual council members lose their First Amendment privileges to the U.S. Constitution for freedom of speech when we get elected. We are absolutely allowed to speak with city officers and employees. We're allowed to ask them questions, as is any ordinary citizen. This is one of the points I was making when I said everything runs through the mayor. Number 3, the mayor's city attorney to refuse to act on Dalton disciplinary matters. This is false. I did not make that statement. Number 4, the Dalton matter was kept from council. This is not only false, I made statements to the contrary. Number 5, the mayor's city attorney withheld the August 2020 police petition from council. I made that statement, but Mr. Stranko stated he offered it to council and we refused it. This is not true, and I have audio files to prove it. Number 6, the mayor withheld information from council. As a result, council found out about the Houghton and Cox cases in the media. This is untrue. He mischaracterized it. What I said, and he's done this in previous meetings, is what I said was council was not informed of the incidents that led to these lawsuits, which any incident that could lead to the potential financial harm of this city should immediately be communicated to council, and they were not. Number 7, Westover city government is corrupt, and it starts with the mayor. This is unequivocally false. I never made that statement. Once again, don't take my word for it. Listen to the interview. Number 8, the city attorney negotiated with Panico deletion of complaints against the mayor from his first tendered resignation. I made that statement, and Mr. Stranko admitted that's exactly what he did. Number 9, the city withheld documents from Councilor Mullins. This is false. I never made that statement. I said that I had to make FOIA requests unless I asked for and received the mayor's permission. And number 10, council committees do not meet. I made that statement, and it's an easily provable fact. And I would like to add that earlier this year I requested in public session for not only my committee to meet, but for all committees to meet, which elicited a response from the mayor saying, "We found them to be a big waste of time," to which he turned to council and asked the rest of council if they felt like me, he would arrange to have these meetings. No one on council opened their mouth. I then informed the mayor that he has nothing to do with these committees and the arrangement of their meetings, as they are oversight on him. Now, what needs to be investigated? The accusations made by not only our police force, but by citizens of Westover of being targeted and of harassment, as well as many other violations of policy and law, and not by any entity that serves at the pleasure of the mayor, since he is one of the accused, but an independent investigative body. These accusations made by our ex-chief that our mayor was attempting to obstruct an investigation as well as obstruct justice and protect Officer Dalton from disciplinary action. The accusations that the mayor was violating our police department's chain of command as well as having a supervisory role over Officer Dalton, as the mayor does not possess that power. The more than 100 charter violations that I have documented evidence of that have been committed by this council and the mayor when only looking at 2 narrow scopes of interest. The dozens upon dozens of abuse of power violations that I also have documented evidence of that have been committed by our mayor. The 28 state code violations, misdemeanors, which I have documented evidence of. The falsification of an official public document where statements were fabricated and attributed to both the mayor and our legal counsel. In regards to the mayor, they changed the essence of what he actually said and was trying to do. And when I made council aware of this in public session, not only did they not ask any questions, they proceeded to vote and approve the minutes that are falsified. The targeting of a local business where I have been provided substantial documentation in the form of emails and text messages, which tend to confirm his claim that he was unfairly targeted by code enforcement. All of the documented evidence that I have in my possession will be turned over to any law enforcement agency or independent investigative body that investigates these claims. Finally, and in summation, I want to say one thing for the record. For some time now, there are a small group of people that are saying that I've been doing what I've been doing over the last couple of years because of political aspirations, that I want to be the next mayor of Westover. Regardless of my motives, it does not change the fact that the Westover city government is completely dysfunctional. We constantly and consistently violate our city charter. Could it be that I want to be the next mayor? Or could it be that I want our city government to do its business by the constitution of our city and within state law? Specifically, so we can avoid lawsuits like we have today. What justification will these people have when I don't run? I will make a deal with all of council and the mayor right here, right now, that I will resign my position as councilman if the rest of council and mayor agree to do the same, and will never seek again public office in the city of Westover.